We begin our Sunrise Smart Start with breaking news out of New York's LaGuardia Airport. An Air Canada regional jet collided with a fire truck on the runway, crushing the nose of the plane.
We have just learned within the last hour, 2 pilots are dead, several passengers and crew injured. The plane is operated by Jazz Aviation. It just made it from Montreal. There were 72 passengers and 4 members of the crew on board. This happened around 11:40 last night in Queens as the emergency vehicle was responding to a separate incident. The airport will stay shut down for many more hours with flights diverted and the ground stop issue. This morning's early morning flight from Rochester to LaGuardia was canceled. In the moments before the impact, you could listen to the air traffic controller giving clearance to the vehicle to cross part of the tarmac and then frantically trying to stop it.
Stop, 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 truck one, stop, 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 truck one, stop.
Sadly, the 2 pilots are confirmed deceased, and notifications are being made by Air Canada's care team at this time.
We stopped, and then the pilot came on and said there's been an accident with an Air Canada. We got a really good view of the plane missing the whole front nose.
The images do show the mangled front of the aircraft lifted straight up, the tail on the tarmac, and the plane's passengers getting out via the staircase.
Travelers withstood hours-long security lines at multiple U.S. airports over the weekend due to the ongoing partial government shutdown that has resulted in TSA officers going without paychecks. Saturday, more than 3,200 TSA workers nationwide called out sick. Atlanta's airports saw some of the nation's longest lines, with officials advising travelers to arrive more than 4 hours early for their flights in order to allow sufficient time to be screened. The Trump administration says starting today, ICE agents will be stationed at hotspot airports to assist screeners.
They come here where it's going to make a lot of people scared to travel.
ICE will keep us safe, and I don't have a problem with ICE agents.
The TSA union slammed the idea, saying, quote, TSA officers deserve to be paid, not replaced by untrained armed agents who have shown how dangerous they can be.
Time is running out on President Trump's threat to obliterate Iran's power plants if the country does not fully open the Strait of Hormuz by tonight.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu also called on the international community Sunday to join Israel and the U.S. in the war against Iran. His remarks came as Israeli officials are warning European leaders Iran likely has the ballistic missile capability to strike a number of cities in Europe, including Berlin, Paris, and Rome. NATO Secretary General says 22 nations are planning efforts to protect the strait.
Military planners are now working together to make sure that we are ready, to make sure that that Strait of Hormuz, that we secure the free sailing there, which is crucial for the world economy.
The president will keep all options on the table.
A new CBS News poll finds a growing number of Americans are concerned about the war, with 60% of those surveyed saying they disapprove of the conflict and 57% of those surveyed saying it's going very badly or somewhat badly for the U.S.
The Rochester police officer shot early Friday on Lake Avenue is back home recovering after his release from the hospital over the weekend. The officer was able to walk out of RGH Saturday. You see fellow officers there at salute. The officer was shot while trying to speak to a man at Lake and Driving Park Avenues about a recent shooting investigation. When this happened early Friday, the suspect pulled out a gun and fired multiple rounds at the officer. That suspect, identified as Shatik Cato, was found later hiding behind a building on Lake, where police say he died by suicide as they closed in. Cato had previous convictions tied to an assault and gun investigation.
Jury selection begins today in the trial of a woman accused of killing her stepfather in Rochester last summer.
Police say in August, 31-year-old Kiana Richards stabbed 49-year-old Gary Morgan at Dewey and Driving Park Avenues when he confronted her about stealing items from his apartment. Morgan was driven over to St. Mary's Medical Campus on Genesee Street and died a short time after arriving. Members of the Marshals Felony Fugitive Task Force arrested Richards during a traffic stop days after the homicide. At her arraignment, she pled not guilty to murder. The trial begins at 9:30. Your sunrise traffic here at 6:52. The one issue we have on our map still over on the west side, 490 at Mount Reed as you're heading out of the city from our Greater Rock Sky Eye.
And 490 west between 390 and Buffalo Road in Gates reopens this morning. Crews with the state DOT shut down the area overnight for overhead sign improvements. That area will be shut down again tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. Then Wednesday into Thursday, 531 West will also be closed at the ramps to 490 and Buffalo Road. And Thursday night, the 490 West off ramp to exit 7A will be closed until Friday morning. As always, drivers should follow all posted detours and work zone speed limits.
Syracuse fans had nothing to cheer for besides their brackets during the NCAA tournament for the first week. SU never had a shot to make the big dance this year, but the Orange got a shot in the arm anyway. Jerry McNamara next in line to become the men's basketball coach. According to several reports that came out Sunday, McNamara and the new AD at Cuse, Brian Blair, spoke multiple times in recent days, working on an agreement that should become official soon. McNamara played 4 seasons with the Orange, his freshman year 2003 with Carmelo, when they won their only national title. From 2009 to 23, McNamara was part of the team's coaching staff with Jim Boeheim under a number of roles, from graduate manager to associate head coach. McNamara got his first head coaching job at Siena in 2024, a Saints program that had only won 4 games in the prior season. And then in 2 years, he had Siena back in the big dance. It's also been reported SU made a commitment to NIL funding that would put the Orange in the top third of the ACC, because money is the only thing that matters now in college basketball and football. As the University and McNamara finalize this, Cuse fans share their thoughts.
Kind of exciting. He was my pick.
Obviously going to Siena, you saw what he did there, brought him to the tournament this year, so obviously he's doing something right, and great recruiter, so hopefully he can bring that to Syracuse. You got to watch out, hopefully that McNamara can kind of apply his own type of scheme to the system, like something original, something new, maybe a more fast-paced offense, some better sets overall.
I think they'll have a better showing in the ACC tournament, and I think they're going to make it into the 64 for next year.
We'll see. While it is a small sample size, fans are very excited GMAC's coming back to Cuse, hoping it can start by getting some more wins and bigger crowds at the Dome.
Maple farms across the state are back on full display for Maple Weekends, giving visitors a sweet look at how local syrup goes from tree to table.
We stopped by one of them shops on Willis Hill Road in Victor. Been there for 18 years and counting, offering up tours of the maple syrup and candy for sale. Of note, due to the quantity of light amber being limited, maple cream not on the menu this year for them. They do use what's called maple tubing. That's when they run all the tubing, about 10 miles total, across 700 trees to get the sap. We've got a full list of Maple Weekend farms to check out over at rochesterfirst.com.
Gotta do one.
You have to. You haven't yet.
I haven't.
Gotta go. Gotta go.
They're fun.
It's fun.
Just gotta keep the squirrels away. They like to chew on the chew on the cords there. Outside of that, though, yes, maybe some pancakes for you this morning with a little maple syrup. It is cold out there. Numbers stuck in the 30s. Day-to-day warming this week. By Wednesday and Thursday, we get into the 50s there. And then rain chances. I pushed the total snowfall forecast out all the way to August, less than an inch for most spots. So, as you mentioned, steaks coming up, I think, for a lot this week.
Got that message. Yeah, I was worried about that second week of June, what type of system we might have with that. 9 o'clock, we'll see you for our podcast, Wake Up with Sunrise, on the Rochester First streaming app.
It's always a good time. Can't wait to see what you guys talk about today.
You got to watch. Tune in.
Back in.
Listen.
Always tuning in.
You hear us just shouting in the hallway. Trinette walked by and he's like, what are you guys cackling about? And I was like, I don't even remember. The whole show's like that.
Have a great day, everybody. CBS Mornings up next.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on rochesterfirst.com, Facebook, X, and on our app for news and weather. Get the Rochester First streaming app today for everything you love from News 8 On Demand, plus exclusive shows you won't see anywhere else. Search ROC and download for free on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.